Hi there, great to have you on Blue Room Banters. I'm Oscar Oyinsom, and we basically facilitate conversations of men on virtually everything and anything. It's a safe space, and if this is your first time, you are in for quite a treat. Now, today we're talking about pay rent or parent. As a guy, owning your own space, rent, whatever the case is, just having a roof over your head that you are in charge of, it goes a long way on the journey towards becoming a man. But how important is it? Does it really matter if you pay rent, if you have your own space? What if you want to just stay with your parents, save money? Does it have an impact on the dynamics of who you are and the relationships with those around you? I have a couple of guys here who are going to help, basically help me help you to find out, is it good, is it bad, or is it ugly? Once again, great to have you on board. It's Blue Room Banters, certified cool by Premier Cool. Welcome back. Now, ready up those senses, because it's going to be one of those topics that you might need a pen and a paper. I have with me great guys who have carved their niche in their own fields, and now what they bring to this table, I am very curious to find out. Now, I have one very talented man in the building. He's a TV presenter, News Central. He's also a radio host on UFM, and he goes, I love this name, very catchy stuff, Sam Dandy. It just rolls, like your bank account is heavy.
I hope, hopefully so.
Great to have you, man. How are you?
It's a pleasure. I'm doing fantastic.
How's the media world treating you?
Well, I'm growing, I'm learning, making more money.
Making more money. That's what's up. That's what's up. You stay alone?
Yeah, I do.
Your own crib?
Well, let's just say I stay with my
You see that silence? That's why we're here. We need to know.
Well.
And of course, the next guest, he's a regular here. He's a content creator. He's an actor. An all-round cool guy. He's a guy's guy. Hello, Zanam. How you doing, man?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, think about that. I get it. I understand. I
understand, Abi. When you ask a guy, how you doing? How you doing? I did. But there are a lot of layers under there.
Lots of layers, man.
It's great to have you, man. And of course, last but not the least, we have Tunde. He's marketing manager at Palms Mall. And when he's not busy working, I think you shoot some hoops sometimes?
Yeah, I play basketball. A lot of basketball, actually.
Like you almost went professional kind of playing?
Almost, yeah. I played at the highest level, played varsity, played everything. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Which school?
I went to school in Malaysia, so like the highest peak of
I did not see that coming.
Competition
like
was I played
Malaysia.
over there. Yeah.
How was the time there?
Oh man, it was fantastic. It's like living on a resort.
It's a lovely place.
It's expensive if I hear.
No, it's actually not.
It's cheap?
It's not actually.
What am I doing here?
Expensive.
Really?
Yeah, Malaysia is lovely. My God.
Why did you come back?
So I was bamboozled into coming back. Really, I saw a lot of images online
about Nigeria.
Nigeria.
You show you the best part.
I like NYC and stuff. I was like, whoa, that should be fun.
Wait, NYC. Wait, hold on.
So you were scammed by old people.
Wait, NYC was portrayed as like
Believe
a
it or not, I was scammed by NYC. Like I had friends who I gone to high school.
Your parents are good. For real?
The reason why you know it's a scam is because in my family, my dad and I are the only ones who have served. Everybody else in my family, not interested.
That served as NYC or like
that served that's not NYC.
Okay, I thought like Nigerian Army or something.
No. That served NYC.
We have to clarify.
Yeah, so I came back. I was like, hey, that looks like an adventure. That looks fun. I came back, and I always wanted to break into like Nigerian media, and in a country where you have some understanding of how it runs. So I felt, okay, hey, Nigeria, it's time to go. So I did that, yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
So yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, a lot of people complain about NYC, but I particularly enjoyed it because
did as well. It was fun.
You enjoyed it? You both enjoyed
yeah,
NYC,
yeah.
Ridiculous.
Wait, you guys went to Lagos or something like that?
No, it's a mindset.
It's a mindset. Thank you.
Look, do you know what happened to me in NYC? I bought that time, the BlackBerry Bold 5 just came out. It was a lit phone. I got the phone. I was like, I loaded it with movies and stuff. Went to NYC, first week they stole the phone.
Oh shit.
Welcome
they stole I woke up, I slept off watching the movie and I woke up with my hands empty. Same way, like they're taking the phone, left my earpiece and everything. And that did not deter me from having a great time.
Which state was this?
This was in Imo State.
Where was yours?
Ekiti State.
Where was yours?
Kebbi State.
So I got
So
a
that's like a
Ilorin.
contrast there.
Yopata.
You got where?
Ilorin.
Oh, cool.
It's in Nigeria, trust me.
Yeah.
All right, so pay rent or parents, we all have to start somewhere. The good book says a man must leave his parents and cling to the wife, and that whole narrative of independence, having your own space, whether it's rent, whether you bought it, whether you built it, even if it's a 2-bedroom in, I don't know, Ikorodu, or it's a half-bedroom in Lekki, whatever it is, as long as you have your space, it's one more notch on your belt as being defined a man. So I want to find out, like, at what age do you think a man should have his space, like own rent, whatever the case?
For me, I think the earlier the better.
The earlier?
Yeah.
Put a number to that.
I mean, it may not look like it, but I was kind of spoiled when I was younger. I was really spoiled. Like, my dad did virtually everything
Now
for
that
me.
you say it, it look like it.
Like, I was spoiled. So when I lost my dad eventually, I felt, I wished I had been able to be independent and see and taste the real world way before I had to, like.
Not Malaysia.
No, so yeah, Malaysia, right? But like, you can still learn, even when you're enjoying life, you can still enjoy. You can still learn. You can still learn like life lessons. But like, I even went to boarding school. I went to a boarding school in a private. I came back to Nigeria when I was 15. Went to a boarding school in Ibadan. So even at that, it was still fun. I was still just kind of coasting through life. So the earlier you learn the reality of life, the better for you.
So early is relative. So if you had a son,
yeah,
or let's just say a son, like what age would you want him to, get out there and start paying rent, owning his own place?
So not paying rent. So you could always teach accountability in the house before even like subjecting your kids to like the harshness of the outside world. You could always tell them, like, this is the value of stuff. Like, you could actually literally teach them. If they leave the lights on, you could actually take it out of their allowance and then maybe put it in a savings account and give it back to them, or you could, literally teach them about taxation through, like, maybe you give them 5 candy and then you take back 2, things like that.
Wow, you're an intense dad.
There's a formula right there.
There's so many ways you could teach them, early, so that they don't get a shock when they, enter the real world.
The reality
they're used to
does
it.
hit them.
Because that's what I got, like, when NYSC finished, I was like, whoa, this shit is hard. Man, this shit is hard. No allowance from home, nothing. You're fending for yourself. The minimum wage now, when you finish NYSC, they offer you like maybe 50K, 100K.
What?
What?
50?
50?
That's a lot, right?
What?
No, after NYSC, for like your first job after NYSC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they offer
I mean,
you.
okay.
that's a good job
Yeah, you
at that time.
So you can't afford shit. You can't afford anything at that point, With the way rent is going now
It's
in
going
Lagos.
good. 50? I was collecting like 10,000 every month NYC, and that came in like a few months. Maybe they'll give you like, after 3 months, they're like, oh, here you go. which is annoying, because sadly I was in Abuja. And I was like, oh, it's supposed to be, where there's money.
Yeah.
I've seen people driving fancy cars, and I'm like, okay. So, but my dad, I like the idea of what he said, of course. My dad kind of gave me that vibe, because even though I was earning that amount, he was expecting me to do certain things in the house. I'm like,
Really?
no, I'm not buying bread to this. Nuh-uh. But I understand.
But what age would you peg it at?
I would say 3 years of working and earning money. If there's an age to that, whatever time you graduate from school, maybe give him 3 years to like work.
I like that.
Oh yeah, actually. So it won't just kill you when you go on your own.
Honestly.
Honestly.
I think it's becoming more prevalent to have that breathing space when you come out of school, rather than like come out of school straight into the job market. And I think that was the whole concept of IT, industrial training. Like you go out there and experience the world. What age would it be for Yellowzone?
Well, he's 3 years after you. 3 years is a stretch, but maybe 2 years, because after NYSC, I moved out a year and a half afterwards.
A year and a half after.
Yeah.
Was it you wanting to move or circumstances?
So let me tell you, the fact of the matter is, my parents actually, they're firm believers in go out and
go forth
and conquer. So at some point they were like, guys,
time to go.
It's time.
Pack your shit and go. This is the time to get your stuff together. Do you need help? Okay, this is what we're going to be able to help you guys with. X amount of time, pay back. And that's what we did.
For those who don't know, Elo is actually a twin.
Yeah,
so was that you and your brother?
So it was me and my 3 brothers. So it's better we just go out and stay by ourselves, discover who we are without the guidance of our parents or whatever. And because it's it's actually very important for a man to do all of that. You have to know who you are, and sometimes you cannot know who you are completely when you're sheltered. You get, because there's a limit to how you can do things. Your friends will come around the house. They have to go at a certain point in time. You still have to respect the space you're in.
True.
But when you're in your own apartment, you now know, okay, this is how I want to treat my space. This is how I want to treat my friends. This is what I want to do. So you navigate life at your own pace when you're by yourself. So it's very, very important for a man to be on his own at an early age, so you can get all that nonsense out of the way, and then eventually settle down and start your own journey through life with a family.
Yeah.
With the
The pressure.
with the let's rewind before the family. So I mean, what do you think it says about a man when he owns his own space? What do you think it says about what kind of image does it project to other guys, to other girls?
In this day and age that we're in, it's a luxury to have your own space.
I think it's a sign of responsibility. I think it's a sign that you take your life seriously. If you can actually own your own space, you're a responsible human being. You can take care of yourself. You can make ends meet. And most importantly, are what's the word? I'm looking for the phrase. A desired, quote unquote, eligible bachelor or male species. If we're going down to brass tacks, right? So that's what you present. So when a girl looks at you, it's like, this guy can hold his own. You automatically become here. Because let's be honest, that's what it comes down to. If we're being honest, actually, because at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, procreation, and you have to be eligible, and to meet the requirements, you have to actually own your own space, because you're going to be doing make-way in your parents' house.
I mean, among my age, right? I'm 26, okay? I don't think a lot of my friends actually live alone. And I don't blame them. And I'm not even looking at the context like, okay, you're going to look cool or anything. I just think if I see someone who lives alone, I think you're free, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily because you're planning to get married soon.
Yeah.
You're just young and you're free. You have the money too. If anything, it's cooler to still live with your parents, have a car, and have a good job for my age, and we're good.
Yeah.
But kind of. You know, a house.
So first of all, are you on your own? Do you pay rent?
I am paying rent.
For how long have you been doing that now?
For a few months, so I'm new to it. Easy on me. Unfortunately, easy on me. I mean, I did that in February, and I guess I was kicked out too.
You were kicked out. So it wasn't voluntary?
Literally. No, it wasn't. If they asked me, I would have been comfortable seated, you know.
So who pushed the button?
So here's the thing. My dad doesn't stay in Lagos. My mom stays far. I knew that couldn't work because of work. So I was living with my aunt.
Okay.
And of course, that's in Lekki. So that was very convenient. And let's just say after you're looking at me like, yeah. You're getting too comfortable, you know.
We're blood, but it's time to...
you know. And at that point, I'm like, okay, I better start saving my money. So I definitely did, and then got a place, and then got out this year.
So if you're in a party and you're talking with some girls, guys, and like, oh, by the way, where do you stay? I'm like, oh yeah, I stay in Lekki. Do you go the extra and say, oh, I stay in Lekki with my aunt?
No, I will not. I will what? I will certainly not say that.
It kills the conversation. It kills the
Why
vibe immediately.
not? Why can't guys just like put everything
That
on the
whole
table?
independence thing is kind of sexy, you know?
Yeah. Okay, what about you? How
So
did
for
your moving out happen?
Yo, mine is in stages. Mine is a long ass story, but I mean, I'll summarize. So I lost my dad like the week we did passing out parade for NYSC. So
Sorry about that.
it was literally, that's fine. It was literally like the universe telling me that, you know what? You've had him for as much as you can have him. It's time for you to face the world by yourself. But I have the most amazing siblings in the world. And thank God my dad has a property back home. So we all just kind of moved there. So we were in Oshobo for a while. And, you know, we were there until I decided, hey, you know what? Yeah, we're good here, but I need to venture out into Lagos and see what I can do in media. And that was what I did. So I got to Lagos, you know, I was squatting with friends for like 3 months. And
You
I was
squat?
like, yeah, I squatted with friends for like 3 months, man. And I'm like,
It
3 months, I was like, man, so this is how you guys be living? Man, this is hard. Because, you know, you can't compare living with your friends and living with your siblings. It's worlds apart. So, like, I had to move out. I had to just move out, get my own place. And, you know, I have such a wonderful wife. She stuck with me throughout that period.
Really?
Till now, till date,
Wait.
Since you were squatting.
Yeah.
Wait, so
Bruh.
the squatter is bringing a girl?
No, so we didn't used to, I didn't used to bring her there, you know, guys' quarters, you know, it's guys' quarters, you know, you can't bring a girl there.
Top of the list when it's time for a guy to move out and pay rent. Top of the list is what? Why do you want to do it? Is it because of a chick? Is it because to look independent? Well, let me start with Elo. What's on top of the list for you?
For me, it's just being able to control my own space and time. I want to be able to go and come as I please. I want to be able to walk around naked in my house.
Yeah.
I want to be able to play loud music. I want to be able to sleep. Yeah. I want to be able to sleep in peace and not somebody trying to talk. Have you ever tried to sleep and somebody's talking loudly, inconsiderately over like your?
God.
I want to be able to do everything in my space. Did you get that's top of the list for me? You can now say, okay, maybe I want to be able to bring a woman to my house whenever I feel like, without having to tell the guys, or without having to, look for if my mom or my dad is around or whatever. Do you get? Because even if your parents are liberal, there's only so much you can do when your baby's around in their space.
Right. Let's even backtrack to that. So before the move, how was it living under the same roof?
With parents?
Oh!
Yeah, let me start with Sam here.
Again, maybe I'm the Gen Z one here, but for me, of course, it was freedom, right? But I would still do it. I would still inconvenience you. I'm sorry. You're still going to have to wake up and say, yeah, Sammy is at the door by 1 a.m. I'm sorry. I won't do it next time. I will do it again. I'm sorry. But I guess that was the idea. So if I had to have my girlfriend over, I will let her come over.
Did you bring your girlfriend to your folks, your parents?
My aunts.
I mean, sorry, your aunts in this
Which
case,
is even like totally different, right? But of course, I still had her come certain times. But she was way ahead of me. She had her place already. So if I needed to, I would go to her place. But
wow,
she
the
did
dynamics changed quick.
She did come to mine too as well. And that was,
And
sure.
how did your aunt take it?
Well, she liked her, I guess.
So from an economic point of view, do you think it's the longer you stay, the better it is economically for you when you stay under your parents?
Economically in Lagos, you cannot put a price tag on your peace of mind. You cannot be waking up at 4 a.m. to join the rat race. It makes no sense. So if you have to move away from your parents to have like a 30 minutes commute, 1 hour commute, absolutely do it. There's no price tag for that. Do it. Like in a heartbeat, I'll tell you, do it. So it's better to have like a self-contained room somewhere where you're managing, you're paying some rent, instead of being somewhere where you're spending 4 hours on your commutes. It's not worth it in the long run.
Like he said, you can't put a price tag on your peace of mind. Do you get? So, I mean,
it's always relative.
You cannot be staying in Ibadan and be commuting to Lagos because you're trying to save money to invest. Invest in what? By the time it's time for you to invest, you have dried up. You're already crazy because of the situation.
Yeah.
And again, let's be honest. Yeah, you're not going to get that time back. You have to enjoy this life when you enjoy this, when you need to enjoy it. You cannot get that time back.
I like that angle actually. Time.
Yeah.
You cannot get that time back. So you spend all that time suffering and saving. To what end? You can die tomorrow commuting from Ibadan to Lagos, and then what?
Your next of kin.
We'll take the money.
I think when you look about married people who have gotten hitched, and the guy is still in the parents' house, and there's stories of this online where they're married, but under the roof of the groom or the husband's. What's your take on that dynamics?
What? Being married? I mean, didn't we talk about the good book saying, then you will leave your parents' house to cling to your wife? That would be uncomfortable, right? I mean, it's one thing for you to be young and not ready to move out, and another thing completely to be married. Yeah. What if you're not comfortable? What if she's not comfortable? You can't like them as much as we can't pretend to like in-laws that much.
Some people, some on very rare occasions is where they make it work. Very rare.
But even have you had any or know anyone who's
yes,
in this?
I do. Yes.
How is it?
He had like a very big house, right? So his mom, his siblings, everybody lived in that house. So his family house. You know what family house? The concept of family house, right? So he told his wife, like, go out there, look for a house for us. Let's rent. Let's move out. So she went out and she saw what the rent was saying. She saw the rent prices and she was like, we'll play 1-point-something million here. We're living free here. Let's sacrifice for a couple of years and then do something with that money. So that's what they did.
I wish it was you that would ask the question, right? At what point do you think you want to then move? Because you're going to get
so I have an answer to that. So in their case was peculiar because they had a bigger goal, which was to build their own place.
Okay.
So that's what they did. They stayed and then they saved up money and then they had their own place. That's the difference.
Yeah. So in that case,
in most cases, it doesn't work because the strain is just too much.
And then you also have people who maybe they're the only child, only son or whatever. They have to take care of the parents.
They're elderly parents and all that. Yeah.
But I don't know when people decide to live with their parents. Is it fair to say that it's strictly because of the economics?
I don't think so. So in some rare cases, there are people who are just very, very family oriented, right?
Yeah.
And maybe take, for example, the guy is still staying with his parents and he marries a wife and brings her into his family. And then the family is taken by the wife and the wife is taken by the family. And everybody's happy. It's the rare occasions, yeah. Maybe
Yeah,
you have
right.
your own bedroom away from everybody else where you can actually have a bit of privacy. But everybody is coexisting very peacefully and happily. There are
good
very rare
folks.
occasions like
Very
that.
rare. Yeah.
Very.
And if they can make it work like that, if the wife is comfortable and she loves everybody around them, then they can be happy. And at the end of the day, isn't that what all life is all about, being happy, you know? So if you can actually get to that level of peace and happiness, then every other thing else
Yeah,
is
just
secondary.
Once guys move out of their parents' home and they go somewhere, and for whatever reason, maybe they're not making money, something goes bad, is there anything wrong in going back home to live,
No.
either with your family or?
So
There's nothing wrong.
So as I get older, I guess I get wiser. I realized
You
that
better.
I realized that nothing anybody else says about your family dynamic really matters. The only people that it matters to is you. Are you okay with your family dynamic? Are you okay with what you have around you? If you're okay with it, you don't owe anybody an explanation.
Yeah.
Man, do you?
Elo mentioned happiness. What if the woman in question, girlfriend or wife, whatever the case is, like, look, I know this is a great place. It's in Banana Island. It's your parents' house, but I need our space.
Then you go outside and hustle.
So you double your hustle.
Period.
Your wife's happiness is your
Bam.
happiness at the end
You
of the
go
day.
outside, you hustle, you get her what she wants.
You know why this kind of comes home to me? Because, of course, my dad was away for many years, right? And the cool thing is, of course, my mom is a family-oriented person. So even though I'm talking about this, we grew up with my grandma, my grandpa, the entire, 8 siblings. So we're all family people. But my dad, obviously, if he's going to watch this, never felt comfortable. Because there was never a time that he came from Abuja and slept there. No. He did not. And I don't know about you, but especially if it's a wife's place, as a man, you kind of feel maybe ego.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
you want me to stay in my wife's family house? Nah. So for me, I think it's economical. I don't think you will have money to buy a house anywhere, and you say, oh, because I love my family. Oh, wow, they're absolutely fabulous. I want to stay. Nah. You will not. If you like them so much, you come every Saturday, every Sunday.
Every Sunday,
to
yeah.
visit.
But
Yeah.
Stay there, no.
money first.
Yeah.
Ever since I moved out of my parents' house, I have not gone back. I cannot imagine.
Like even spend a
I
night?
love my parents and everything. I can't imagine going back. I think the only times I've ever gone back to stay with my parents would be, there was a time I was really sick, right? And I stayed there only a night. And then when we had to vote a few years ago, I think it was Buhari's time or something when we were voting.
Your
Yeah.
center was near the house?
Yes, because my PVC was registered
There.
when I was still staying with my mom. And that's what I had to go vote, and I stayed. But by the time I finished voting and 4 o'clock came, or 6 o'clock, one of the time, I was out.
If there was a situation where there was a house available for you and it belonged to your parents, would you mind marrying into that house?
So if they're going to be living there with us, no. Because, of course, I know the person I'm dating.
Yeah.
She will not. Absolutely not.
She won't agree.
Nah. And again, happiness also, your partner is kind of tied to your happiness. So
Yeah.
if they're not happy, where are you going to find it?
Yeah.
Happiness. man.
At the bottom of the bottle.
It definitely, I will not. I won't be able to take it.
So now let's look at the GoFundMe approach to paying rent, where you have guys,
Pulling
can you
money
call it your space when like 4 or 5 guys come together to split the rent?
In cases like I had with my friends, we stayed in the same place for some time, but it was kind of uncomfortable because you don't really have any control. One guy likes his music loud, one guy likes his Indomie soggy, these kind of things.
Somebody's doing make way in the other room, you are hearing it.
No,
Bro.
man.
Make
No,
way.
man. Because look at it.
Swear.
By the time your first couple of months when you're married, you realize that I came from bachelor. I could leave the windows open if I wanted to. You control your entire atmosphere in your house, but then you're now sharing it with somebody else. You have to adapt to that. So now imagine a bunch of guys putting money together to do that. It's not comfortable, but if it's ideal for your situation, go for it.
Let me take it a step further, just on a final note. Does it matter if a man, during the length of his life, doesn't own a house? Does it matter?
I don't think so. Like, owning...
No, in some traditions, like, you're not really a man until you've built
own.
your own house. You get, and the narrative is very strong, but the economics, as in the global village, the global world, what is happening in the world economically doesn't give room for you to, flex like that. Will it take away from a guy if he lives through and doesn't actually build his house? What's your take on that?
So a man can actually own his own home in his lifetime all well and good. But obviously, you mentioned the other factors that affect owning a home. So I feel like as long as you can provide for your family up until the day you check out. And I think that's good. I think that because the measure of a man should not just be solely on what he can actually, like all the things he can do, but you should also take into cognizance all the factors that would hinder him or help him. You get, because to be very honest, to be very fair, the money that we have in our bank accounts now has lost value.
Yeah.
In time space of how many days? Do you get? It doesn't change the fact that we've been hustling. It doesn't take away our hustle at all. It's just the fact that
there are other factors.
There are other factors that are trying to strangle us. So I feel like those things should be taken into cognizance. And not how much pressure, as long as you can provide, and you at least shelter, the basics.
Roof over the head.
Exactly. As long as you can do that, it doesn't matter whether you own it or not. It will be better if you do. Just saying.
From an asset point of view. What about you, Tunde?
In my case, my dad did a remarkable job when he was alive, so we're okay, some level. We want to own our own property as well, but even if we don't, I mean, we've had such a great patriarch in our family who has kind of taken care of us before he checked out.
Fantastic.
So we're okay, we're good.
I mean, as guys now, you get married, you have kids. If there's one thing you could do for your kids, would it be gifting? Because I know some people write it in a will, they gift their kids, all I owe you is school, and I'll give you a house or I'll give you a car. Well, what's your take on that now? Let me round off.
I mean, that would have been nice, right? And no, everyone would like that. Something I didn't work for free. Fantastic. I mean, and the Bible also does say that, a good man leaves these things back for his kids. So of course, if someone can have and give to their kids, fantastic. But again, in this time and age, I'm young and I'm looking at how much I need to earn to be able to buy a house.
Look!
To own a house. Where? In the corridor or here in the island? So I'm thinking, okay, if I'm saving at this rate, what am I looking at? Like 5 years? Hopefully, I make more money. And how many years? How much do they cost?
Keep it in mind, the economy is constantly working against you.
Which is explaining the jackpot syndrome. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. I think in summary, it's about provision for those who have families or really in a serious relationship. The definition of a man should not necessarily be tied to the physical, the material. The value system is very important. Now, whether or not you pay rent or you're under your parents' roof, that's totally up to you how you want to handle that. You're not more of a man or less of a man if you're under that roof or not. What defines you as a man is the legacy, the principles, and mostly the non-tangible stuff. I think we're going to leave it at that for now. Thanks for joining us. Check out the next Blue Room Banters, Certified Cool by Premier Cool. I'm Oscar Onyinson. Till next time, be cool.